Hey everyone, welcome back to True North Income. We've now covered the basics, TFSA versus RRSP, starting with $50 a month, realistic side hustles, and building an emergency fund. But none of that works if we don't know where our money is actually going every month. And honestly, that's the part most of us struggle with, because budgeting can feel overwhelming. We picture giant spreadsheets, tracking every coffee, or feeling guilty every time we buy something fun. But today I'm sharing a simple budgeting system that actually works for regular Canadians. No complicated spreadsheets or extreme restrictions required. This is budgeting for real life, for families, for rising grocery bills, for surprise car repairs in February. And most importantly, this is about building freedom, one simple habit at a time. I'm Mike, and on this channel, we keep personal finance simple and realistic for everyday Canadians. So far in this series, we've talked about beginner investing, emergency funds, TFSAs, RRSPs, and realistic side hustles. Today, we're connecting all of it together with one of the most important skills in personal finance, budgeting. Quick disclaimer, this is education and entertainment only, not financial advice. Please consult a licensed advisor for your specific situation. All right, let's get into it. Here's the truth most people don't say out loud. Most budgets fail because they're too complicated or too restrictive. A lot of us start out motivated. We download an app, make color-coded categories, promise ourselves we'll never eat takeout again, and 2 weeks later we give up. Because life happens. The hydro bill jumps during a cold Manitoba winter. Groceries suddenly cost way more than expected. The truck needs brakes. One of the kids needs new hockey equipment. And suddenly, the perfect budget falls apart. The problem usually isn't discipline. The problem is the system. A budget should help reduce stress, not create more stress. What finally works for most people is keeping it simple enough that we can actually stick with it month after month, because consistency beats perfection every single time. Action step. Instead of trying to track 40 categories, start with just 3. Needs, wants, savings or debt payments. That's it. Simple systems survive busy lives. And every dollar we direct intentionally gives us a little more control over our future. One of the easiest budgeting systems out there is called the 50-30-20 rule. And no, it's not perfect for everybody, but it's a fantastic starting point. Here's how it works. 50% for needs. These are the things we must pay for. Housing, groceries, utilities, insurance, transportation, and minimum debt payments. In Canada, this category can feel heavy right now. Housing and food costs are no joke. If your needs are higher than 50%, don't panic. A lot of Canadians are in that situation right now. The goal isn't perfection overnight. The goal is awareness. 30% for wants. This is the stuff that makes life enjoyable. Eating out, streaming services, hobbies, travel, coffee runs, sports subscriptions. And this is important. Wants are not bad. If we make budgeting too restrictive, we quit. A sustainable budget leaves room for life. 20% for savings or debt. This is where future freedom starts. Emergency fund, TFSA investing, RRSP contributions, paying down credit cards, extra mortgage payments. Even small amounts matter. Remember our earlier video about investing $50 a month? This is where that money comes from. Canadian example. Let's say a family brings home $5,000 per month after tax. Very roughly, that's $2,500 for needs, $1,500 for wants, and $1,000 towards savings or debt. Now, real life won't fit perfectly into these numbers every month, especially in Canada where heating bills can swing wildly between July and January. But the percentages give us a guide, not handcuffs. Action step. Take one evening this week and estimate your own 50-30-20 split. Don't aim for perfect numbers. It's just a realistic picture of where your money is currently going. Awareness creates options. How to track it easily. Now let's talk about tracking, because this is where people get overwhelmed fast. Good news, you do not need complicated spreadsheets. You really only need two things: a way to see where your money goes, and a quick weekly check-in. That's it. Some Canadians like free apps through their bank. Others use tools like spreadsheets, budgeting apps, or even a notebook. Honestly, use whatever feels easiest to stick with. One simple method that works really well is this. Every payday, pay your bills first. Move savings automatically. Then use what's left guilt-free. Automation changes everything. If we wait till the end of the month to save whatever's left, there usually isn't much left. But if we move even $50 automatically into savings or investing right away, we start building momentum. Real Canadian example. Maybe your paycheck comes in Friday. You automatically move $50 to your TFSA, $25 to an emergency fund, pay your hydro, insurance, and phone bill. Now you know exactly what's available for groceries, gas, and life. That clarity removes stress massively. Action step. Set up one automatic transfer this week, even if it's tiny. The amount matters less than building the habit, because habits create freedom over time. One reason budgeting feels hard in Canada is because our expenses aren't always predictable. Winter alone changes everything. Heating bills spike, snow tires happen, holiday spending sneaks up fast. And if you own a vehicle, eventually there will be repairs. That's why we need something called sinking funds. Sounds fancy, but it's simple. A sinking fund is just money we slowly set aside for future expenses we know are coming. Things like Christmas, vehicle repairs, back to school costs, property taxes, vacation savings. Instead of panicking when the expenses arrive, we prepare slowly ahead of time. Example, if Christmas usually costs your family about $1,200, divide that by 12 months. That's about $100 per month. Way less stressful than putting everything on a credit card in December. Action step. Pick one upcoming expense and start a small sinking fund for it. Even $20 to $30 a month helps smooth out financial stress later. That's how we stop living in constant money emergencies. Let's finish with a few common mistakes most of us make. Mistake number 1, being too strict. If the budget feels like punishment, it won't last. Leave room for fun. A coffee with your spouse or taking the kids for ice cream is not financial failure. Mistake number 2, forgetting irregular expenses. A lot of people budget for monthly bills but forget birthdays, school fees, car maintenance, winter clothing. That's where sinking funds help. Mistake number 3, giving up after one bad month. This is a huge one. One expensive month does not mean the budget failed. It just means life happened. Budgets are tools, not report cards. We adjust and keep moving forward. Action step. Instead of restarting every month from scratch, review your budget once a month and make small adjustments. Small course corrections are what build long-term success. And every improvement, even tiny ones, moves us closer to stability, peace of mind, and more choices later in life. That's what this is really about. I used to think budgeting meant living like I was broke. Like life had to become miserable before money could improve. But when I finally found a simple system that worked, it gave me control and peace of mind. And that's when the real progress started. Because budgeting isn't about restriction, it's about clarity. It's about knowing your bills are covered. It's about sleeping better at night. It's about slowly building options for the future. And this is how regular Canadians start creating the kind of stability that leads to options. Maybe even the freedom to travel more without constant worry. That kind of freedom doesn't happen overnight, but it absolutely can happen step by step. If this made budgeting feel doable, Hit like, subscribe for more weekly Canadian money tips, and comment below. What's your biggest budgeting struggle right now? I read every single comment, and honestly, hearing what real Canadians are dealing with helps shape future videos for this channel. And remember, this is for education and entertainment only, not financial advice. Please consult a licensed advisor for your specific situation. Thanks for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.